All right. Well, we are live on Facebook for Adam Clark Fitness. We're doing Wellness Wednesday. We're talking about leadership today. Adam Clark here with Noah Karen. So we're going to take you through. This is a fun talk. I've been looking forward to this one when we sort of made our list back at the in January when we started doing these Wellness Wednesday talks. This was one that was on my radar that I'm super excited to chat about. As always, if you could please share this, we'd love it if you could share this because you can watch this later on as well. We like to make it as interactive as possible. So ask questions, whether you're on here live right now or later on. You can please do that. Please ask questions. We will look back. But if you could just press the share button, that would be great. So I am going to do that as well. I'm going to press the share button,
Right
post it
now.
to my page. Perfect. So press share and perfect. So today we're talking about leadership and this is a great topic because I believe that we're all leaders. We all have leadership qualities in us and we should all strive to be a better leader. Whether you're leading, one person, 1,000 people, that you are a leader. And one thing, if we just start off with the definition of leadership. So leadership is the art of motivating a group of people to act toward achieving a common goal, right? So it's the person at the top that's bringing others together and really plowing forward and showing them the way, and everyone's working together to reach this common goal. I think you see a lot of great companies, a lot of great teams, a lot of great organizations, whatever it may be. Uh, the best ones have great leaders, right? The best ones have great leaders. If you don't have a great leader at the top, then what happens? You're not going to be successful. I always like to bring sports into the equation, and I think it's pretty evident this past year in the NFL. The leader of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was Tom Brady, right? So they had great pieces, but they didn't have that guy that could bring them together, that demanded excellence, and that can lead them and show them the way. To really make them believe, they needed someone that can make them believe, that's been there. And I mean, we look at what happened. They won the Super Bowl. They won the Super Bowl, so they needed that guy. And same can be said for I mean, when he was with the Patriots, yes, but they also had the great head coach who could lead the way. So that's just a sports example. Those are always um, easy. But so some of the qualities I want to talk about. We have good leader qualities, we have bad leader qualities, and just some of the things that pop into my head, Noah, that some good leaders possess, and you can chime in if there's anything that pops into your head. So, good leaders are caring, right? They care about their employees, their teammates. They care about their customers. They care, right? They're determined. They're determined to get there, to reach their goals. They have a willingness to do it all, the willingness to do the dirty work, right? Nothing is above them. They're helpful, right? They want to help people, because if you just try to go about it yourself, then you're probably going to fail. So helping others creates a stronger team. Positive, right? They're positive, and when I think about positive, I don't think of rah rah, this fake positivity, right? So that's not really being positive. Positive, it has the quality of caring, right? You bring a strong influence to the table. You're helpful. You bring good energy, right? You're not constantly bringing people down. You're lifting people up. But that doesn't mean you can't criticize people and give them feedback, right? And so you have to be able to do that, but you can do it in a positive way. Um, and then if another quality, I think, they're a problem solver, right? All good leaders solve problems. I think we've seen that throughout history. I think that's what successful companies, that's what they do. Any good leader qualities that stand out to you? I know you've been a part of teams, you've had
Yeah.
organizations, things like that.
So I agree 100% with every single one of those. one, going off of caring a little bit, in my opinion, I think it's super important for leaders, listening skills. And not
Mm,
only like listening to what people are saying, but like but finding out what the problem is, if there's a problem, or really what is going on, being 100% aware of that. I'm taking a change management class right now for my business degree there, and a key thing with change is having good leadership. And if we don't have good leadership, nothing's going to get done. Like you said, they need to have a willingness to do it. But oftentimes, change is resisted by people, and I mean that's a common thing. I mean, you see it all the time. But if you're not listening to why the resistance is there, or something you're trying to change, if you don't know the why, you're not gonna make any change. And the best way to find out the why is listen to the people that don't want to change. Listen to
yeah,
them. That's
yeah,
huge. I will say you don't need every single one of these, like to a T, to be a good
right.
leader. To be a great leader, I think you do. But there is different types of leadership qualities as well. I'm not sure if there's something to get into, but some people might be more facilitators as a leader. Like you might
Yeah,
like want to get input from everybody, and kind of get the
mhm,
team behind. But maybe some people are better like executive, like, hey, we need this done. Do you mind doing it? And kind of like
yeah,
facilitating that way. There's
yeah,
different types of leaders, and but all those qualities right there, amazing. Those are the
yeah.
top ones I would say, along with being a good listener,
And
which is caring. So
right. And there's nothing wrong with, like, I mean, a great leader could be Bill Belichick, who doesn't really smile.
yeah,
Who knows what he's like behind it? Like, he can be a great leader,
yeah,
and then, I think of another one like Steve Jobs. Did he ever smile? Right? Like, I think I don't know if he was necessarily a leader. He was more like a visionary.
yeah.
And I think you can separate those two, because I don't think he was a very nice person. And, but he had this vision that people followed. But then, a guy like, I always think of Starbucks as kind of one of the gold standards with Howard Schultz. Like, he it seemed like he really cared about people, and had went for feedback from customers and teammates and his workers, and so that's a different type of leadership. But there's no right or wrong, right?
Yeah.
So,
And so
and don't, yeah, go
all I
for it.
was gonna say is this is reminding me a lot of the book I think you introduced me to. I got it in an audio book, but it
Mhm.
was it Good to Great? Is
Good to
it
great, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Good to Great?
Jim Collins, yeah.
If you're interested in leadership, whether it's business or not, read that book.
Mhm. Yeah,
Anything, I mean, anything by Jim Collins. That name.
Jim
Uh,
Collins, yeah, yeah,
Amazing writer. He
yeah,
most amazing leadership books. I'm sure you'll get into a few here, and
yep,
you've learned a lot from him.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm
No,
just dipping my feet in there. I haven't even got the full effect. He has so many amazing stuff there. But
it's yeah, it's a great book, Good to Great. So it kind of talks about, companies, and how some took the leap from being good to great, and how others in the same industry, fell off. And there's a lot of great examples through history of that. So definitely check it out. I haven't read it. I've listened to it, and it was a great read. So good leader qualities. Ooh, those are some of the qualities. But when we look at the flip side of things, what are some, bad leader qualities? And I think, number one, selfish. Selfish, only care about themselves, only care about profits. Don't care about the teammates. Don't care about, customers. They're very selfish. Number two is they're sort of above a lot of duties. And I'm not saying, CEOs need to be taking out the trash when they're when they have 1,000 employees, but just they have this aura about them. They're above things. They won't help out. Someone that's constantly negative and bringing down the team. So, not constructive, right? So they're not constructive. You can be positive and constructive, but being negative and not constructive, that doesn't do anyone any good. And then I think another one is they let things sort of fester. They let bad apples be bad apples and kill the culture. They just kind of let things go and try to sweep it under the rug, instead of, nipping it at the butt, right at the and we see that throughout organizations. If you allow things to happen, people will keep pushing. People will keep pushing the boundaries, and if you allow it initially, then they're going to try to go that next step. We've all been part of organizations, whether it's, a team, a classroom, a job. where there's people like that, right? Where they're going to constantly push the boundaries, and if the boss, if the leader, if they let those little things go and they let bad apples be bad apples, then you're going to lose good people. So I think those are some negative qualities, some bad leader qualities, and that's it's kind of what when we look at good leader qualities versus bad leader qualities, that those are things that stood out. Anything there that you want to add?
Yeah, this is. I think it's going just in general. It kind of just popped up here with something you're just saying, but a good thing with being a good leader is obviously when you're a leader, you have followers, you have people around you, you're part of a team. Um, a really big thing I think that is important in leadership is not trying to make yourself stand out and be the leader, but pushing up the people around you.
Mhm.
One of the things that I did talk about in Good to Great a little bit was people who leaders who the companies were more successful after a leader left. Those were the more like that was the more indicator of a successful business. So leader having good leadership, you're able to push your responsibilities on the other people you trust, and being able to lift those people up and give them guidance, getting them better
Yeah,
than you. That should be your end goal. If you're a leader, you have followers, and as a leader, you want your followers to be better than you. That is a
yeah,
mind frame you have to come into as a leader, I think. I think if it's all a me, I think this probably might be something you get into a little bit, but um, if it's all about you getting better as a leader, uh, it's good. You want to become a better leader, but to become a better leader, you have to facilitate to your people around you and let
yeah.
them grow. If they're not going to grow,
You
you
have
can't
to,
have better leaders.
if you, yeah, I mean, you can only, if you're only worried about you, if you're not building the people around you,
Mhm.
right, you're gonna be you're gonna fail eventually. You want to build those people up and create success for them, because as an organization, that creates even more success, right? And that's super important when when you're just worried about yourself and don't believe in the mission and don't believe in the people around you. That's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem. Now I want to go in next. We're going to talk a little bit about the founder's mentality, and this was a book that I read at the end of last year. It was very interesting. It was by consultants at Bain and Company, so big firm, and they talked about these businesses that um, they adopted this founder's mentality, and there were really three keys on why these three traits, why they outperformed others and why they lasted longer. And we'll give some examples on some companies that fit that mold. But when you have a founder who starts a company, right? They start a company, but as they progress in age, what happens after they leave, right? So like we just talked about, you want to have success throughout your organization so they can carry on the success that the founder has created. And three traits that stand out, that the companies that fit this mold. Number one is it's called insurgency. So they really have this, they have this bold mission, they have this big vision, that they believe that they can change the world, right? So that's kind of, they're going against status quo. They're going against status quo. They're some companies that stand out, that when you think of a startup, right? When you think of a startup, who's disrupting the industry? Apple did it. Netflix. They've changed the game. When in sort of our industry, um, the big thing used to be the chain gyms. You'd go and just do your own workout. But I think in the past 10 years, that's totally flipped. It's totally flipped, and we've taken where people want coaching, they want training, they want this smaller atmosphere. So you see these smaller chains, these smaller boutique fitness has really popped up and taken a hit from the big chains. And also I think online fitness and all the products. I mean, you look at Peloton, you look at all things like that. That's completely changed the game as well. But so insurgency was trait number one, and what this creates, it creates a long-term focus for employees. It creates people, your employees are energized. You embrace being the disruptor, and you're really you feel powerful and ready to take on the world. Number two, it's an obsession with the front line. So when we think of businesses, you have frontline employees who are out there, kind of. I don't know if this is but kind of like your infantry guys. They're out in the trenches doing the work, and companies that are obsessed with the front line and obsessed with their customers, with customer service. I think of a company, Zappos, if you've ever heard about them. So Zappos is a company that kind of e-commerce site that sold shoes, right? They were one of the first ones who offered free shipping just by changing to free shipping. But what set them apart is their customer service. Their customer service was unbelievable. I think that there was a story where this person was on the phone lines for 5 hours with one of they really cared. They put customer service first. So when you have an obsession with customer service, your customer, with the front line of the business, then that's important, right? That's when you're worried about your customer, when you're focused on that, the good things will happen.
Mhm.
And then the last one in the founder's mentality on why these companies outperform and last is an owner's mindset. So generally there's usually only one owner, right? There's one founder. Some company, they have a few, but you want your people to adopt an owner's mindset. Like they believe they're part of something bigger. They believe that they are, even though they weren't the founder. They believe they're part of something great. They take on this owner's mentality, even though their name might not be on the window. That's their baby. So when throughout the company that they take on this owner's mindset, that's a big time that's a big time win, right? So they're really invested, and that creates a strong culture, and really ties into the missions of these companies, and just some of the examples that this book talked about, and some that I would add to it, that I think are great ones. So we talked a little bit about Starbucks, right? If Starbucks isn't your normal coffee chain, right? It's gigantic, but I feel like, I mean, look, I have one right now. It's employees there believe in something bigger, right? It's not just a job; it's something bigger. I think, and the other ones would be Southwest Airlines. They are different. They are different. If you've never flown on Southwest, they're a different airline. They do things differently. First off, your bags are free. That you don't get seating assignments until the day before you line up. They're quirky. Their workers are quirky. They have fun. Their customer service is top notch, and they're not really, obviously they're worried about profits, because businesses that say they aren't worried about profits, well, you have to be worried about your profits, because if you're not worried about your profits, then you're not going to be in business long. But that isn't their sole focus, right? Their sole focus is customer service. So Southwest, Google, right? They disrupted an industry. They push their employees to think of other ideas. That's how Google Maps came about, Google Drive, things like that. They push employees to try other things and come up with these ideas. IKEA, I mean, everyone loves IKEA. And then Disney. I think Disney is huge. They embody customer service, really. I mean, it's pretty amazing. So founder's mentality, those are some great examples, of why some of these companies, they are great, and why they stay great. Is there anything you would add to that, or anything that stands out from those three traits?
Not a lot.
No.
You really summed that up. I had not heard of insurgency before, but I got the idea of it, but
Mhm.
it never been put in front of me like that. I like that. I like that a lot, and I definitely understand the owner's mindset and getting like team spirit involved and that sort of stuff,
Mhm.
and being part of something bigger.
Yeah.
People like that, getting that involved,
Yeah.
and I mean, I know we're applying this to business, but that can be anywhere. That can be
Mm.
anywhere, and if you don't think you're a leader, I'm sure you're wrong. I'm sure in some aspect of your life, everybody's a leader. So
Yeah.
I mean, this is something you can kind of look into, and I don't know.
Yeah.
That was
No
pretty.
doubt.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, whether you're part of a team, whether you're part of a organization, whether you're part of a, even your classroom, like that,
Yeah.
that's it's, or even your family, right? You're part of something, that it can apply in everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit about the founder's mentality. I know we're talking a lot about business here, but just kind of the lessons that we've learned, that we take from things, and things that you can apply to your life. It's very important. I think the next thing I'd like to talk about, and this will be our weekly newsletter topic, and we talk a lot about, in the past, we've talked about growth mindset, right? Where we're always learning, we're always helping, we're pushing forward, we're looking for ways to improve, and that means you're living in abundance, right? You But to live in abundance, I think it's important to look at the other end of things, and we see this a lot, and sometimes it's us ourselves. But I think you see it more and more, and that's you must first identify the opposite of abundance. That's scarcity, right? So when we think about scarcity, this can apply. It's usually something, we're talking about in economics, right? It means a shortage, lack of, or under supply. But also think scarcity mindset. Scarcity mindset where you're always worried about outside factors and bad things that can happen, as opposed to, focusing on yourself, on your organization, on your inner circle, to help others. If you're worrying about all these outside factors, right, then it's not going to really end well for you. You're not going to be very successful. So some I really have five signs that you're living a scarcity mindset, and then just some little tips to overcome it. And I'll ask for your input as well, because we're all guilty of it, right? No one's perfect, but these are five signs you're living in a scarcity mindset, and how you can overcome it. So number one, a scarcity mindset: you believe your situations are permanent. So you believe your health, the way you are now, that's the way you're always going to be. You believe you're in this job for the rest of your life, even though you don't like it. You believe that, you don't have much money now, and you're always going to stay that way. That's a scarcity mindset, that you're stuck in this position and you can't get out. But really, in reality, you control your own destiny, right? You can become healthier. You can be financially sound. You can change jobs. You can change careers. No one is holding you back. Only you are, right? Only you are. But nothing's going to happen overnight. But if you don't believe in it, if you're always feeling stuck, then something has to change. And here's the tip: if you want it to change, you got to have a plan of action. It's I'm not saying you have to map out every single step, but Ben Franklin said, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. So if you want a new job, what do you want to do? Identify what you want to do, and then what education experience do you need? And then after that, search for jobs, see what's available. And if nothing is available right now, or you kind of pinpointed this job, what are those skills, those traits, experience they're looking for? It doesn't all happen at once, but the first step is identifying. And really, with anything, you got to start with step one. So if you believe your situation is permanent, then guess what? It's probably is permanent. But if you can flip that, if you can take action, then you can achieve. So any is that what do you believe? What do you think about that, Noah?
I agree 100%. Mindset is
Yeah.
everything.
Mhm.
What you believe, can't remember the quote, but it's whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're probably right.
Yeah.
If you
Yep.
think you're stuck, you probably are. If you
Yeah.
change that mindset, can't think of who says that quote now, but that's
Jim
one.
Quick.
Is it
Jim
Jim?
Quick says it. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
heard of it's one of my
Yep.
favorites. One of my favorites right there.
Yeah.
Changing that mindset, just that's the first step. Change that mindset, and then
Mhm.
identifying what you want to do.
And the mindset, it's not going to flip overnight. Like, you're not just going to turn some switch, but you got to work on it, right? You got to work on it. It's like a muscle. You have to constantly work at it, and it just
Yeah,
starts by doing one thing.
yeah,
As much as we say just do one thing, well, that's how you make change.
yeah.
Um, so that's number one. Number two, sign that you're living in a scarcity mindset. It's not being generous. So when I say not being generous, I don't mean you don't donate all your money, or you don't donate all your time, but um, to be a generous person, it really just means helping out, being a helpful person. It's not all about, if you can donate money, sure, that's great, or you can donate your time, but just being a better human, helping others out, because there's nothing. I don't know about you, but I feel when you help someone achieve their goal, or help someone do something, there's a good feeling,
Oh,
and when you add up those good feelings, good things happen. So just always be helpful, and lend a helping hand, and like I said, it doesn't have to be monetary. It could be volunteering time. It could be something as simple as opening the door for someone, and just doing those little things, and that can create a positive chain reaction.
mm.
So that it's such a simple concept. Just be generous, be nice. Number three, this, we've all been guilty of this. You're jealous. You're a jealous person, and social media is reared its ugly head on this one, because social media generally is a highlight reel. But in reality, everyone has struggles, and if you're living in scarcity, you're jealous of other people's success, right? We're very lucky here that we don't have that, but I've been around places where people get jealous of others' success, whether it's weight loss, whether it's getting a personal best lift, things like that, and that's too bad, because that's you're jealous of other people's success, and that's no way to live. It's actually a terrible way to live. And if you're spending your time worrying about others, instead of worrying about yourself, then that's not good. How are you going to be successful if you're worried about all these outside factors,
And it's
right?
cool.
If you spend, yeah,
Oh,
go for it.
right. No, sorry. I thought you're pausing there. I didn't mean to interrupt. But I
No, you're
mean,
good.
same thing going with the. I mean, we mentioned like you're part of a team. You got to lift
Mhm.
other people up, and if you're jealous about people doing better than you or getting things you don't have, then you can't be a leader. You can't, because that's a crucial step in pushing those people around you. And you're
Mhm.
jealous of what they have, then yeah. Sorry, that
Yeah.
was just. I thought you were
No,
taking.
that's
I didn't mean to
it's
interrupt.
now
Right.
it's important. Now you're good. No, that's super important. So, one thing to improve there is what is one thing you're thankful for today. So if we can get into that mindset of gratitude instead of jealousy, then that's a good thing. That's a good thing. The next one is being reactive and playing defense. So we talk about defense wins championships. Well, yeah, you have to have a good defense to be successful. However, if you don't have any offense, then how are you going to put points on the board, right? So if you don't have any offense, I love sports metaphors, but playing for a tie, who plays for a tie? Right? We're not playing for a tie. We want to win. We want to win. And I'm not saying that, you need to rack up all these trophies and stuff, but if you're just constantly playing defense and trying to plug holes in your sinking ship, that's a problem. I feel I'm kind of, well, I'm unique, that's for sure. But as a business owner, that's something I try to do. Obviously, I follow. I'm part of a mastermind group. I have a good people around me, but I try to worry more about what's here, right? What's here, what's within our reach, as opposed to what the local area is doing. Because if I spend all my time worrying about what other places are doing, how would we get better, right? So I'd rather focus on here. How can we better the experience for our clients, our members? And if we can do that, then we're successful. So in your own life, you got to stop worrying about what others are doing, what others are thinking. You got to stop playing defense all the time, right? You got to stop playing defense all the time and being reactive, because if you're living a reactive life, you're always catching up. You're always playing catch up. Where you want to be proactive, start playing some offense, right? So that's important. And then number 5, so great quote from Gandhi, and it's using thoughts and words of scarcity. So here's the quote: "What you think, you become. So be careful of your thoughts, for your thoughts become your words. Be careful of your words, for your words become your actions. Be careful of your actions, for your actions become your habits." Right? So that's a pretty powerful statement when, as we start thinking of things, as if that's festering in our head, then that's going to turn into our actions. And then if we consistently act on that, that's going to become our habits. Right? And if we're going through that in that kind of scarcity hole, right? Then we're going to have habits of scarcity where it can also work for us. If we want to develop some positive habits, right? What we believe, those are our actions become our habits. So, it can work for you, it can work against you. So if you're living with a scarcity mindset, you often say, I can't, I don't, I'm not. So if you say those things, they become your actions, eventually become your habits, and that limits you. So a simple way to do that, start flipping those statements. I will, I can, I do. Right? I will, I can, I do. And if you can change your language, then that makes a huge difference. So, what we just talked about is, it can apply anywhere, right? It can apply anywhere, not if you're leading a business, not if you're part of a sports team, but it can be in the classroom, it can be with your family, it can be anywhere. And that's where, everyone's a leader, everyone has leadership qualities in them, and it's important to hone that. Whether you don't have to be a supervisor at work to be a leader. That doesn't Just because you have a title doesn't mean anything, right? If you want my thoughts on titles, I think they're pointless, right? When someone has an email signature that's this long, then that kind of takes their credibility away to me, because I don't need to know, I don't need all your accomplishments, all your degrees. That's what does that do? And a title this long, like, what does that mean? What does that mean? So that was a little rant on titles, but that's just my thoughts on titles. They're kind of just for ego, So yeah, what do you got, man? What do you think? What do you think?
No, I like that. Especially that last point there is going back to your thoughts, your frame of mind. I think that's huge. I think that's something. Nobody's perfect at that. There's not. I think if somebody says they're perfect at their frame of mind,
they're not.
They're wrong.
You always have to work on it.
Yeah, and that's another quality of a great leader is they recognize where their shortcomings are. They know they have room to improve.
Yeah.
In a recent book, it was the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, also by is that also by
John Maxwell?
Oh, that's
John Maxwell.
John Maxwell's also the other guy. Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome resource for leadership stuff. He talks about you kind of rate yourself and your areas of leadership and that sort of stuff, and your mentality and those different aspects of it. And you can rate, and sometimes you're a 10 at this thing, like the best you can be. Rarely a leader thinks they're a 10 though. You're usually a 9. Right. You always can improve, but then there's some shortcomings, like whether it's like motivating people around you, that might be a shortcoming of a quality of a leader. If you're super interested in that, check out that 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, and it has a ton of content to kind of evaluate yourself, see where you're currently as a leader, what areas you can work on, because everybody has places they can work on. If you think you have it all figured out, you know, it was
You're
actually funny.
wrong. Yeah.
We had a speaker last weekend come in, and his motto was, if you ever come in contact with anybody who says they know it all or whatever it is, you run the other way.
Yep.
Don't
So
even
true.
listen.
So
No,
true.
no, I learned a lot there. That was awesome.
Yeah. No, good. Good, good. Well, looking at, like, we don't have any comments, doesn't, but if anyone has comments or questions or anything, you can definitely pop on later. If you're watching this later and ask away, we'll answer those. But that was our leadership talk, and this guys is our last Wellness Wednesday, at least for a little while. We've done this for, what was it, 13, 12, 13, 14 straight weeks, something like that. It's been
Yeah.
3 months of Wellness Wednesday. So you can always check back. They're available on our Facebook as well as our YouTube channel. But we'll be popping in here and there. But for right now, we're going to take a little bit of a break from Wellness Wednesday, and I hope you enjoyed the last few months of this. We really enjoyed putting it on and doing the research ourselves and just talking. I think it helped us, right? We taught each other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And the questions that you asked helped. So appreciate that. But awesome. Well, that's a wrap for today. Go enjoy the nice weather, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Sounds
See you
good.
later. Thank you very much.
Have a good one.
See ya.